All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Bravo by Gays. I am your host, Larry. I hope you guys had an amazing week. There's so much for us to talk about. I needed to bring someone in to discuss a lot of this with. So, without further ado, you know her. She is a TikTok, pop culture guru. She's also on Instagram. I have Morgan from Morgan's Pop Talks here. So we are just going to get right into it. Morgan, welcome.
Hi, Larry. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm excited.
I know. I can't wait to chit chat about all of this stuff. Before we start though, I don't know if you remember. Do you remember how we met?
Are you going to tell the story about the bachelorette party?
No. I'm going to tell a story about. I came across I was on my personal TikTok, and I came across a TikTok that you had where you thought PK was attractive.
Yes, he had a glow up. He had a glow up one Christmas. And I remember looking at those family photos in that maroon sweater, and he was like silver fox. I was like, it took me 29 years to realize that I'm attracted to PK, but here we are.
I love it. So I found that TikTok and I posted it, and he had reposted it, and I was like, this is amazing. This is so great. But anyway, regardless, you are blowing up. You're everywhere. You're all over TikTok. You're all over Instagram. So congratulations on all of that.
Oh, well, thank you. But I do have to toot your horn too, because I can't just give the bachelorette party tease and not tell them. The moment I fell in love with Larry, I mean, I always enjoyed following along and seeing the content that you post, and especially when I was first getting into it, I was really looking for other creators to be friends, because I was kind of the new girl on the block, and I feel like you were one of my first friends. But it really solidified it for me because I was at my best friend's bachelorette party, and Larry sent us a drink, and we didn't really know each other that well at that point. And I remember just losing my mind in the middle of Panama City Beach in Florida, being like, Larry, he's my friend. He likes me. So ever since then, I knew you were a real one.
No, thanks. No, I appreciate it. No, you're just cool people. So yeah. We have her for a limited amount of time because she's booked and busy. So I'm going to leave it up to you. Do you want to recap RHONY, or do you want to recap last night's OC?
Oh my God, Orange County all day long.
Okay, I was hoping you would say that because I feel like last night's episode was 10 out of 10, hands down best episode that they've had this season.
Yeah. And they're having a great season. I know that Andy always says, OC is back or Beverly Hills is back. And then 9 times out of 10, they're not back and they're in the same spot they were last season. Right. But I really feel like Orange County is back and better than ever.
It is. Every episode is just a little bit better than the next. And last night's was the cherry on top. I don't even know where they're going to go from here, but let's just get into it because it was amazing. And you're right. Andy says that about everything. And he's just just wait. It's true to form, back to the old days. And you watch and you're like last season when Heather came back, you're like, well, this is garbage.
Right. I stopped watching halfway through last season.
Oh my God. And I'm so happy you said that because I was watching last night and I was like, I cannot wait to talk about this. And then I saw your post that you just did prior to popping on here about Orange County last night. And I have to say, guys, if you haven't seen it, when you're you need to make sure that you go and check it out. But Emily is my OC queen right now. And I've always been a huge fan of her. And I feel like people have always been not on the right side of OC history with this one. But I love her. She's a straight shooter. Mm-hmm. She calls it how it is. And I mean, I just love that. She's not one that's just going to do what you want her to do and be your little pet. What I feel like Shannon is trying to have the ladies do with talking about her relationship. She wants them to all do what she says. So I want to just like start. I mean, there was not really like much in the beginning. I just want to get into, we'll start off when Heather just shows up at was that on the beach? I don't even know where that was.
Like it was like Huntington Beach or something. The sign said, I was like, where are they?
Right.
I have no idea.
Shannon's there in her sweats looking crazy as hell. Heather shows up in like a pencil skirt. Like she's like, I don't know where the hell she was going, but I want to know. I want to go there because she was dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
She showed up, she sat down, and she just got right into it. She was like wasted no time. She really like told her how it is. Do you think that, so I feel like Heather is running around telling all the girls what Shannon told her. Mm-hmm. Do you think that she's doing that? Like,
yes.
100%, right?
100%. Yes. And I feel like maybe it gets like lost in translation with Heather, where, you know, she's having these conversations and she says something in a very precise and particular way, almost so that it doesn't come across bad, but you're still talking about it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if the intention is good.
Yeah.
You're still talking about it, which is what Shannon doesn't want you to do. So I think that's kind of where she gets herself in a little bit of trouble, where it's like even one detail, one little slip is too many in Shannon's eyes.
And as soon as she says that she like doesn't talk about it, they cut to her saying everything that Shannon's ever told her. Like, I mean, Heather's really just digging her own grave. Like it really, like it's insane. But I mean, I don't understand how she wants to keep that part of her life private, and like she doesn't want anyone to talk about her relationship or anything regarding that. But he's been on the show for years. Mm-hmm. So like, obviously the relationship is going to come up. Like, and I forgot who said it. And I think I maybe heard it on another podcast, but if you don't want like your personal business coming up on the show or your relationship, like then tell your secrets to someone that's not on the show, because these ladies, they have a job to do. Mm-hmm. And if they know something and they think it's going to pull in some ratings, they're obviously going to spill it.
Yeah.
So like it blows my mind. And then like they just go like through this back and forth between Heather and Shannon, and Shannon loses her shit and like walks away. How many times is she going to walk away this season?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely her go-to move. And it's also just, and this wasn't particularly in this episode, but the past episode, and we had a week off, which was like triggering for me. When we didn't have a new Orange County episode last week, I was like, do you want me to die? Bravo? Like, is that what you want?
I was like, what? Like, I have a night off. I don't have to watch TV. Like, but I also was pissed because I was like, I want to see what's going to happen.
But Shannon at that party, when she's freaking out, telling people that our fights are normal, they leave me paralyzed. You know, it's like, sis, what you're spewing is making no sense. And she's trying so hard to convince the women and maybe even the audience that, you know, her and John's relationship, they do have normal fights, but her reaction does the opposite. I mean, for a viewer, I watch her freak out and I watch her say, but it's normal. I'm sitting there thinking, this is not normal. Something is wrong here. So it's like, on one hand, you can expect your castmates to run around and gossip and whatever. It's what housewives are built on. Right. But at the end of the day, more so than what they're saying, it's your reaction that is painting the bad picture of your relationship.
100%. Because I feel like if she was just kind of calm about it, that she could have even like made something up and just like didn't react the way that she didn't. Like, I feel like they would have just let it go.
Yeah.
But she is she's overreacting, and it's making everyone think that it's worse than what it is. Yeah. But also, like, I feel like she's also trying to like convince herself that it's not that bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because and you're engaged, right? And so like, and I've been with my boyfriend for almost 7 years, but like, I don't think I've ever had a fight where like I feel like I'm left paralyzed. Like,
yeah,
you know, like
specific word too. Like,
if that were the case, I feel like that's a red flag. You got to go. Like, something's got to give, sis. You got to pack up your things and exit stage left, because it is just and she keeps using that same term like over and over again. And it just like, it drives me insane because she wants to like nitpick other people's relationships and she wants to talk about that. But as soon as it comes to her, she's like out the door.
Yeah.
Like it drives me nuts. But
one thing that I love though about just like, you know, new age Bravo is that they don't care to break fourth wall anymore.
Obsessed with it.
Love it. I mean, the fact that you see Shannon like look straight at the camera and rattle off the things that is wrong in her relationship and say, don't use it.
Right.
And they use it anyways. I'm like, and even the conversation, the FaceTime conversation, which was the best scene in the whole episode.
Hands down.
The fact that, you know, Emily is sitting there screaming, we're on a reality show. And they keep that in there. I love it because I feel like it actually adds a layer of authenticity to it. You would think like just black and white on paper that it would do the opposite. You know, we're not supposed to acknowledge that we're being filmed and that we're mic'd and all of these things. But I think it makes it feel even more authentic.
No, I completely agree. And I love that they kept it in there and they kept in her, like, you see production standing there talking with her. Like, it's like, obviously, like, they're doing it so much more now with breaking the fourth wall. And I feel like it was, like, thanks to Ultimate Girls Trip. Right?
Oh,
Do you
yes.
think so? Like, the first one when they were, like, talking about, like, their lives on shows and, like, their respective cities and, like, how, like, things, like, operate there. But they're doing it so much and like it just like makes me happy because like there was an article out about they break the fourth wall on this new season of RHOC coming up. Then they did it on the mid-season trailer, and in Bryce's article from Entertainment Tonight, like literally the headline was like fourth wall breaking moments, and it was just like,
and you're like, yes,
I love it. I love
my
it so
Super
much.
Bowl.
I love it so much, and I like literally I almost died. And this is going back a couple episodes ago when Shannon was out to lunch with Tamara and Vicky, and she just walked right up to their table. Like she had no shame in her game. She was like, no, I'm done. She went right up to that production table. And the fact that they left that all in there, like, what did she think was going to happen? Even when she said in this episode, like, John's kids, like, they don't like me. Like, I just can't talk about that. And she goes, and that can't be on camera.
Right.
Like, what do you think it is? That's the first thing they're going to use.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that you can stop it. And to think that, like, you have, like, the power to even do that, like, it just blows my mind because they wouldn't do that for some of their biggest stars on the network.
And especially someone like Shannon, who has been here long enough to know the drill. This is not, you know, her first couple of seasons on OC. Like, she has been on this show for years. And you know, like, that they're going to portray the juiciest parts or the most intriguing parts, because at the end of the day, and I mean, this is very Scandival-esque, but whatever is going to get people to tune in. And it's like, what are we sitting here talking about today? We're talking about these bombshell moments that we don't expect to see when they break the fourth wall.
Exactly. And it's just like, I wonder if, well, like now she knows, like if she does it again, that's going to be like the number one thing that they use. So I wonder if it'll prevent her from doing that in the future. But we saw her walk away 2 times this episode. Like, she walked away from the meeting with Heather and told production to take her mic off, that she was done. And then she ran to production after the scene with Emily, which I want to talk about because that was, like you said, the best part of this episode. And it really goes, like I said in the beginning, to like solidify my reasoning for like why I love Emily so much, because she just went in, and that wasn't her intention, but like she was in the moment and she just kind of told her what she felt. She called her Jekyll and Hyde. And if you noticed a couple episodes back as well, Emily had told her like, no, you do tell us stuff, like you just don't remember. And then Shannon was like, I did tell you stuff? Like what? Yeah. Like, I just feel like she gets into like that like drunk dial mode where she's drinking so much that like at a point she's just calling anyone who will listen to her and telling them her problems. And you obviously can tell all of the girls said it in their confessionals in that moment when they like pan to all of them, that she does it all the time. And,
Yeah.
and I mean, maybe it's like a reality call, like, girl, like, don't call your friends when you're drunk and complain. Not your co-stars. Like, don't you have friends off the show? Like,
well, and I mean, when you think about it, like even thinking back to before Tamara and Shannon had that falling out, I mean, Tamara said the same thing way back then that, you know, Shannon's the type of friend that's going to call you at midnight hysterical. And if you don't answer the phone, you know, Monday through Friday, you're a bad friend because she needs you and she's going through all of this stuff. So it definitely seems like a pattern of behavior and not one that has happened overnight. Because I mean, when you think back to how long ago that was, and those conversations were in like seasons, I want to say maybe, I don't know what season it is. I don't want to say wrong and people come for me, but it was at least like 4 or 5 years ago because it was before Tamara had her break.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I loved the moment when, and we'll get right back to that conversation that they had on the FaceTime, but when Emily said that like she almost needs like a breathalyzer to let her into her phone. Like, I mean, if that's a thing, I mean, I probably could use that a few times too. But like, she definitely needs it because she really doesn't remember what she's telling anyone. But yeah, she called her the Jekyll and Hyde. And the best moment was when she couldn't hang up the FaceTime. Like, she tried everything. She tried. I thought she was going to throw her phone in the street. Like, it was just amazing. And she didn't want to have that conversation with her over the phone. She really was trying to like, she even said like, I was calling to tell her that I was coming, but I was just going to be late.
Yeah.
But like just like the tension between the two of them just escalated so like quickly that like it was done. She wasn't going. But I don't like, listen, I love that she tried to not do that over a FaceTime. But I feel like when you try to maybe like plan out a conversation like that you want to have with someone, like you're on the phone with her, you might as well just have it on the phone. You're on a FaceTime, you see her. So like the only thing you don't have is like her right in front of you in person. And I think everything Emily said was 100% valid.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, like I said, it's not an isolated incident. It's not one time she did this. She's calling everybody. She's calling Gina. She's calling Emily. She's calling Tamara. She's doing it to everybody. And it's like, if that were my friend, I'd be like, look, if you don't want this to come out, like you said, talk to somebody that's not on the show, or when you're drinking, put a breathalyzer on your phone because things are going haywire. And not everybody's going to be as gracious as me, you know, and kind of warn you about things that are being said. Some people are just going to come out and say it, which I think is what we're seeing now with some of the other cast members.
Right. And I think, and there were like a lot of rumors swirling. And obviously we know now that her and John aren't together. He broke up with her like shortly after like they wrapped, which is like also like, what did you want to get one more season out of her? Like that was just so shady. But even, and I feel like her and John like together, like the relationship, like, yeah, maybe in the beginning she like thought it was like something like amazing, but it seemed like as time went on, it was just like one out of convenience where they just like had fun together and like maybe she had like a permanent party friend. You know what I mean? Like it was just, and maybe she just is real. I don't know. I feel like there's just something that like happened that like we just don't know and she's trying to hide. You know what I mean? Like unless it's just she's talking shit about him and she doesn't want that to get out. You know, like because Heather said like he's in it for the fame. His kids don't like her. I think she said something else about how Shannon pays for everything. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, do you think that there's something that she's trying to hide, or do you think it's just she's talking shit behind his back and she doesn't want him to find out?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when you do like take that in as a viewer, your mind automatically does assume the worst. You know, I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, you know, I mean, the elephant in the room is that they drink a lot. Like, and obviously, if Shannon's having these conversations with multiple cast members and she's not remembering any of them, and you're having all these other relationship issues. I mean, who knows what goes on behind closed doors? Of course, you don't like to speculate and to automatically assume that. But like you said, and like I said earlier, it's more so her reaction, the fear paralyzation, the hysterics, the screaming that makes it feel like there is something deeper and maybe darker going on that she doesn't want out. On the other hand, I probably do think that maybe stuff like that when it comes to the show and people talking about him and talking about their relationship triggers that anger, in John, if that's what it is. Something definitely is going on. I'm going to just hope that it's not, what stuff that we're all thinking and that it's really bad, and just hope that he is private and protective.
Right. And also, like, how private and protective can you be, though? Like, if you just love the limelight, like, what do you just want to sit there on camera and have nobody talk about you?
But also, like, when they were saying that, when they were like, John loves the limelight, I'm like, I don't know anything about John. Like, he's been with Shannon for like, what, 3 years now? And it's like, okay, he loves the limelight. Didn't see him at BravoCon. Like, have only seen him in like snippets of the show.
Right.
So it's like, how much limelight are you really getting, dude?
Because all I know is that he likes boats. Right. Like, all I know is that he likes boats.
I'm not seeing it.
Right. No, I know. That's hilarious. Like, I didn't know he had kids. I didn't know like, I really only thought that he liked boats. Like, that's all that I ever knew. So, but then you also, like, you get to like Shannon, like, trying to like pick in other people's relationships, and like, I don't know if she's like doing it because she's like naturally worried, or she's doing it because like she sees these women coming for her relationships, so she wants like ammunition, like for her to go against them. But like towards the at her like taco party, which she was like so butthurt that like 3 couples backed out. She's like, I bought 16 of everything. Like, first of all, what did you think? Like, you haven't had the best track record for this. Like did you had to assume some of them weren't going to come. But they have that conversation where like Jen tells her like, or no, when was it? Oh no, when Jen told like Gina that like Shannon was like picking for like information, and then Shannon like just automatically says like, well, oh, like I helped Gina. She threw all her business out there. She threw like literally everything that's like everything about Gina's DWI, how she helped her, how she almost had CPS called on her, like all of this stuff. And it's like, okay, like I get that you're mad, but like moment and like there's a time and a place for everything. And like, I feel like she almost did that to kind of take the heat off of her, get it onto somebody else. But
it was
like
deflection at its finest.
100%, but like didn't even think like, I don't care if this hurts her. Like, she just did not want. And I feel like it's just obviously, it's so obvious that it's deflection. And it's like this whole season, I feel like, is just going to be about like her storming off now, like what's next, because it happens so many times. But I couldn't believe when that came out of her mouth. Like, I get it, you don't like, you can't take the heat, but like you could ruin someone with like the words that you say. Like, you couldn't think of anything else.
The gravity of that accusation of saying that, CPS was almost called, like, it's next level. And I mean, what do we hear all the time in Housewives? Like, don't talk about the kids.
Right.
Don't talk about the kids. And we all saw, what happened with Gina. Like, that was on camera. She's lived it. She's gone through it. She's gone through other really traumatic events on camera. So it's like you said, it's deflection, because that has nothing to do with anything going on in the season whatsoever. I mean, it's not even remotely connected to anything that's going on. So you just want to dangle it over her head so that she doesn't, I'm going to say, do her job as a housewife. Like, all of their jobs of housewives are to, talk about the relationships, talk about the friendships, good or bad. There's always drama in the mix of it. But don't talk about the family and CPS, like the letters should never come out of your mouth when talking about somebody else's children, especially when Gina's not there to defend herself.
Exactly.
It would be different if she was sitting at the table and she could have shut it down real quick. But the fact that conversation went on with 10 other people, besides the 6 that were excluded in the 16.
Yeah.
And Gina wasn't one of them to be able to defend herself. I thought was really super messed up, and just goes to show that like Shannon is not thinking clearly right now.
Yeah, not at all. And if the roles were reversed, I feel like the rage Shannon would have if that was brought up about her, it would literally be over.
She would have Teresa Giudice flipped the table like that.
100%. Yes. Like I almost wish she would have showed up so that way that could have happened. But I love that Jen like noticed it in the moment. Like this chick is like not right. Like you just don't do that. And I feel like I'm happy that she told Gina what happened, but I don't know if Gina really understood that like that's what was said, because in her in the moment she was like, if she said anything about CPS, like it's over, like I'm done, like it's just crazy. It just almost to me didn't seem like it came across as Jen telling her like, no, that's what was said. She said CPS was on their way to your house to pick up your kids. Like, I don't know. It's just getting so crazy. Well, like
it's crazy. It's ridiculous. That's like the word that I feel like I was hearing over and over in my head is like, this is ridiculous. And I think too, for Jen of all people, the newbie, season 1 to be the one to kind of drop this bomb on Gina. On Jen's side of things, good for her, because I feel like she in one season has solidified herself as, I'm not going to say like a great housewife, but she can hang. Like,
yes, 100%.
And she's not a try hard, where I feel like, and I know we're supposed to talk about RHONY, but I was thinking about that today. I feel like some of the RHONY girls are a little try hardy, and I'm not vibing with it. But Jen, she comes in, she understands the assignment. And I just feel like the fact that it's her first season and she's, in the middle of all these different storylines, whether it's her relationship or now relaying the CPS message, I'm like, good for you, Jen. Get your screen time.
Right. No, I agree. She has 100 different things coming her way. She left her husband. Her new man cheats on her when they're not together. She has the kids, and like, nobody knows what the hell's going on. She has like 100 things coming at her, and I think she's handling them great.
Yeah, I do too.
Enjoy her. And I kind of skipped over it because I wanted to talk about the like the Shannon and all of that. But that moment in this episode that she had with her adopted son,
that was very sweet.
So sweet. Like it was so nice to see that like she's so open with him about adoption, and she really like, we've gotten a glimpse into like all parts of her life that like, I don't know, I wouldn't be upset seeing her come back for another season, but I feel like, I don't know if you've seen online that people are saying like she's still lying. So like even Tamara was like saying that like she just doesn't tell the truth. She's like, none of this is like accurate. Like I don't like, and I want to believe Jen because like it's her story to tell, but also I don't know if Tamara's like being truthful or just being messy. Like, I don't know. It's just hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Tamara definitely is a professional housewife. I feel like she can't flip the switch on and off. So I also don't know if everything is just for, I don't want to say attention, as much as it's for just stirring the pot to get people interested. You know what I mean?
Oh, she knows how to do her job and she does it well. Like, no, like nothing is better than Tequila Tammy. Is that what she called herself? Like,
I'm glad she's back. Honestly, I have to say, like, the season that Tamara got let go, I was head of the charge. I was like, she's so annoying. She's so obnoxious. I can't stand her. I was like, good riddance. I remember the video she posted of her like crawling on the floor towards an orange. And I was like, has this girl lost her mind? Like, this is proof enough.
She was trying hard.
It was like, this is proof enough that she could never come back. But I quickly had to eat my words, had to swallow my pride, because like we said, last season was just a mess. And this season, I'm just enjoying it so much.
Yeah, same. And I like, this is the one time that I'll agree with Andy when I feel like Orange County is like back to like what it used to. What are your thoughts on Vicky being back?
You know, I kind of had the same thought about Vicky where I've never been, I mean, she's entertaining as heck. Like you cannot say that she's not entertaining, but I've been like a bit indifferent where I see the show thriving without her. I don't think it's necessary, but also there's just this nostalgia that comes over you when you see those three together. You know, when
Yeah.
you see Tamra, Shannon, and Vicky together and they're doing shots of tequila, it's like, I feel at home, you
The
know?
Tres
Like,
Amigas.
yeah,
Yeah. Now they've taken
yeah,
that show on the road.
yeah.
Like,
So, I mean, I feel like as of right now, I'm good with her like popping in and out. I don't know how I would feel if she was full time. I think it's kind of like a case by case scenario, and I think I would have to see how she mixes with the rest of the cast.
yeah.
But I do enjoy seeing her every so often.
Yeah, and I've never been like a Vicky fan, but like it doesn't make me mad that like she's there, right? She
Yeah.
like she has the right to be. She's like the OG of the OC, but I almost feel like if she were to come back full time, she'd be so territorial where like she'd try to
Hmm.
make everything like hers, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I'm glad like I'm getting her like in the doses that we are now. It's like
Yeah.
still very enjoyable to watch. Everyone loves a whoop it up moment.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can't wait to see her at BravoCon just because like she's been fun. You know, she hasn't
Yeah.
been like annoying and like
Right.
that was one of like the things that like just drove me insane about her was like the fact that she could do what she wants, but if somebody else did something similar, she would like go like she would lose her
Nuts.
shit.
Yeah.
And that just I don't really that doesn't fly with me. But
Right.
and then Heather, obviously we saw that she sold her home.
Hmm.
$55 million must be fucking nice. um and then she bought that home in LA, but did you see she bought another home in Bel Air? So what do you think is like her future with OC?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard the rumor that she's gonna go to Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility when you
No.
see that Taylor Armstrong is, on OC, and I feel like she also fits in really well.
Yeah.
It's not like, who is this girl? She's only here because she was previously on Beverly Hills. I feel
Right.
like, it's organic. Um, my hot take, maybe unpopular opinion, is that I'm not a Heather Dubrow fan at all. And I know that like on paper she's having a good season, but I still am like, I'm over it. I'm
Were
just
you,
over the shtick of her. I'm over my $55 million mansion. Like,
yeah,
we get it. You're rich. Like, move
right.
on.
Were you a fan of her when she was first on the show or no?
Yeah, I was. And I actually was excited for her to come back.
Yeah.
I had like a really high expectation and she just didn't live up to it. And I
Same.
think I think ever since I was like let down by her return, I just have continuously held on to that feeling
Yeah.
of it's not necessary. But I'll probably have a Tamara moment. And if she's let go next season, I'll be like, we need Heather because
Right.
that's what they do. I'm that annoying Bravo fan. I truly am.
Right. Yeah, like I know what you mean. Like you want them to leave, and then once they're gone, you're like, you want them back.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. She completely like I thought it was gonna be an amazing return. It was complete letdown.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we noticed in this episode, obviously at the end, when Shannon and Emily met for coffee or whatever it was, their lunch, and Shannon was talking to her about like how Heather is and like how she thinks she's like manipulative and like
Hmm.
deceitful and like it was almost like Shannon was starting to like plot a Heather Dubrow takedown.
Yeah.
Like we got to get rid of this girl
We
once
were
and
like,
for all.
do it, do
Right.
it.
Right. Like, okay, girl, like what do you got? Like show me what's in your arsenal, as some
Yeah,
of them like
yeah.
to say. But no, I completely agree. And I don't know where Heather would like go from here. Obviously, I don't she has no homes in OC, so like the only thing that would logically make sense would be for her to go to Beverly Hills, and she almost comes off as like elitist and like
Yeah,
she's better than everyone. So
yeah.
like maybe she'll fit in better over there with women who might be on the same playing field. That's not like the word I want to use, but like
Yeah, I
she's
understand what you mean. Like, I feel
fucking
like
loaded.
a
Like
fight between Heather Dubrow and Erica Jane will hit different than a fight between Shannon Beador and Heather Dubrow.
Right. And like, or like, just like the competitiveness with like money wise, like Kyle's also fucking loaded, like with her as well. Like, I just feel like, and I don't want to say like, that just sounded like really awful. Like she's on the same playing field with Beverly Hills. I didn't mean like she's actually better than the other women. I just feel like her
she just has more money.
She's richer.
She has more money. Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. It would be interesting to see though. What are your thoughts on like what's going to happen the rest of the season?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm trying to remember, when did John and Shannon like officially break up? Was it after filming
it was like a couple days after filming Wraps. Like, he kicked her ass straight to the curb. Like,
I mean, so literally. Awful. So obviously some more of the same. We'll be seeing like more drama with John and more drama with Shannon. I mean, they haven't filmed the reunion yet, but we've seen Gina and Shannon going back and forth on Instagram. So it seems like they still have bad blood.
Did you see the TikTok with Taylor Armstrong?
With her date night?
Yeah.
What was she doing?
She was like hammered, and she was talking about how like the reunion is gonna be like,
she's like, it's gonna go
down. She was so lit. And like, let me tell you, that's like the way that I saw her in that TikTok is like the way that she was when I saw her at BravoCon. Like, she is just, that girl loves a cocktail. And it just like, she's like, I don't want to talk to you. You don't even know my name. Like, but she does say that the reunion's going to be like fire. Like, it's going to be explosive. So I'm excited to see. I also don't even know like where you go. Like, I mean, I just feel like it's going to be more Shannon fighting with the girls. I don't know. I don't mind, like, obviously we like to see the housewives because of like the arguments they get into, but I love like the moments where like seeing Emily at the Innocence Project, like that stuff. Like, I love when that stuff gets sprinkled in because it just goes to show like she can throw down with like the big dogs, but she like also has some serious shit going on.
Yeah. And she has a big heart and she uses her money for good causes. You know?
Yeah. And I don't know. She's just, like I said in the beginning, like my queen of the OC now. She's the best.
I love her.
I know.
I love her.
But Morgan, I know you got to go. So I want to thank you so much for recapping RHOC with me. Let the people know where they can follow you and all that good stuff.
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Morgan P Talks. My podcast episodes drop every Thursday. You can listen wherever you get podcasts. It's Morgan's Pop Talks. And then I have a Patreon too, where we do Bachelor content every Friday. And then we do weekend roundups on Mondays called Extra Pop. My Patreon is also Morgan's Pop Talks.
Thank you so much, Morgan. I really appreciate you being here. Hey, I know do you have a wedding coming up?
Oh yeah. So hopefully I'll be married within like 8 weeks, but I don't know for sure yet.
You guys know, I'm sure you all follow her. You know what's going on in her journey, but congratulations to you guys. I really, again, appreciate it. And I hope you come back.
Of course. And we'll have to have you on mine, and I'll see you on BravoCon at BravoCon.
Yes. Oh my God. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, Morgan. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys. So next, I just kind of wanted to touch on a few things in regards to Crappie Lake because the season wrapped. We got 8 episodes with Sonia and Luann in Benton, Illinois. I loved every single part of those women being in that small town. In the beginning, I was like, what the hell is this going to be? Like, it was funny, it was entertaining, but then like as the time went on, you really got to see them like build their relationships with the people that were in the town. And they successfully completed everything on the mayor's list. They built a playground for the kids in the community. They helped out the stuff with the animal shelter. They renovated the 2 rooms at the hotel. They did the Christmas in July. They did so much stuff. And after this season, like, it really did just go to prove that these women need to literally go to other small towns, and they need to make this like a multi-season series. The arguments that they got in between each other, like at the Benton Follies auditions, I mean, Sonia met a man, Luann went catfishing, the two of them showing up like slutty Mrs. Clauses to the Christmas in July, like there were so many great moments, and I'm bummed that it's over. And I really hope, because I feel like I feel like some of these spinoffs really don't get more than one season, but I feel like they struck gold here with Sonia and Luann doing Crappie Lake, that it would almost be dumb of them to not have them go to other cities and continue the series. So season 1 is done. I want to know what you guys thought of Crappie Lake, and tell me your favorite moments. I know one of my favorite moments was when they went to the bar and Luann like met that man with like the goatee. Another favorite moment was when they went mudding and Sonia pushed Luann in the mud after she had kissed her one night stand. There are so many good, hilarious moments from this show, and I want to know what you think. And do you think that they should come back for another season? Are you from a small town that you think that they should go to? I mean, I'm not a casting director, but like it would be hilarious, like if they went somewhere else. So share your thoughts with me. Tell me what you thought, and we can have a talk about it. Guys, what an episode. Again, that RHOC recap was everything that I needed to get me through this day. Hopefully it's everything that you need to get you through your Friday. There's still so much that we didn't get to cover that we'll have to cover next week. We didn't get to go over RHONY. We didn't go over Below Deck. You're listening to this today. Today's Friday. They just released the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion preview. We still have to talk about Atlanta. There is so much that we still have to go over with, and I can't wait to go over it with you guys next week. And I just want to end this episode with a huge congratulations to Danielle from Summer House. She launched her app the other day. It's called Done, Donne. Cameras were up. They filmed it. The entire cast was there. She got shout outs from everyone: Paige, Sierra, Alex from last season, Carl, the newbies from this season. Lindsay gave her like a great shout out. Carl posted with her mom. Like, it was just so good to finally see that her app like came to fruition. Like, we have seen her work on it for a few years. So I'm just very happy for her. Like, all the hard work pays off, and I wish her nothing but all of the success. So congratulations, Danielle. I can't wait to see that next season on Summer House. Guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend and week to come, and I will talk to you guys next Friday.